Emergency broadcast. Static fills the screen, then cuts to Sarah Chen at her desk, but something's different. The studio lighting is dim, almost theatrical. In the background, jack-o'-lanterns flicker with an eerie glow. Sarah Chen. Voice slightly distorted, as if coming through old speakers. Good evening, or should I say, Happy Halloween, America. Laughs, but it's not her usual laugh. It's slightly unhinged, almost giddy. You know, there's something beautifully appropriate about tonight. Halloween, the night when masks come off and we see what's really underneath. And tonight, oh tonight, we have quite the treat for you. The familiar digitally altered voice cuts in, but now it sounds different, more distorted, with an almost carnival-like quality. Mysterious voice, with a twisted, gleeful tone. Hello again, Sarah. Hello, America. Did you miss us? We've been busy, so very, very busy. Sarah Chen, grinning unnaturally wide. They've been busy indeed, and what they've found, what they're about to show us, it's going to change everything you thought you knew about the world you live in. Documents begin flooding the screen, but these are different, more disturbing, clinical, scientific. Mysterious voice, almost singing. 75 years, Sarah. 75 beautiful, orchestrated, cybernetically managed years, and you never even knew you were the rats. Images appear, the famous rat utopia experiments, overcrowded enclosures, behavioral sink phenomena, population collapse. Do you know about John Calhoun's experiments, Sarah? Beautiful Universe 25? He built a perfect world for rats. Abundant food, no predators, climate-controlled. Paradise. Sarah Chen. Reading from documents, voice getting more excited. The rats multiplied rapidly at first, but then behavioral sink, social withdrawal, aggression, maternal neglect, sexual deviance, the beautiful ones who withdrew from society entirely. Mysterious voice, laughing maniacally. And then extinction, total population collapse, not from disease or starvation, but from behavioral breakdown. The rats forgot how to be rats. Urban planning documents flash on screen, zoning maps, demographic studies, behavioral modification protocols. Now look at your cities, Sarah. Look at the zones, the good neighborhoods and the bad ones, the areas where streetlights mysteriously malfunction while working perfectly 3 blocks away, the food deserts, the transit deserts, the carefully managed scarcity. Sarah Chen, voice rising with manic energy. The documents they're showing us, RK selection theory applied to human populations. They've been using evolutionary biology to manage us like livestock. Academic papers scroll by, urban spatial policies and social control, cybernetic management of population dynamics, behavioral modification through environmental design. Mysterious voice, voice becoming more distorted and gleeful. Are selected populations, high stress, high reproduction, short lifespans, risky behavior. Keep them in the bad zones, Sarah. Let them breed fast and die young. Perfect for maintaining a desperate labor pool. K-selected populations, low stress, high investment in offspring, long-term planning. Put them in the good zones, let them accumulate wealth and manage the system. Maps appear showing demographic overlays with RK behavioral patterns. And the beautiful part, they think it's natural. They think the poor neighborhoods are poor because of culture or choices. They never see the invisible hand managing the streetlights, the bus routes, the school funding, the police patrols. Sarah Chen, almost breathless with excitement. The cybernetic control systems. They've been running behavioral modification experiments on entire populations for decades. More documents, Project Cultra urban extensions, behavioral economics in municipal planning, algorithmic governance protocols. Mysterious voice, voice now completely unhinged. Why do you think certain areas have higher crime rates, Sarah? Why do you think addiction clusters in specific zip codes? Why do you think some schools fail while others succeed? Surveillance footage montage, traffic cameras, facial recognition systems, predictive policing algorithms. It's not poverty, Sarah. It's not culture. It's not individual choices. It's design. The voice becomes almost sing-song. They built you mazes and you learned to run them. They gave you cheese at the end and you thought you were free. They shocked you in certain areas and you learned to avoid them. Classical conditioning on a metropolitan scale. Sarah Chen, standing up, gesturing wildly. The zoning laws, the urban planning, the broken windows policing, the food deserts, the transit inequity. It's all behavioral modification. Mysterious voice, laughing hysterically. And the most beautiful part, the most exquisite joke, they convinced the K-selected populations that they earned their good zones through merit and hard work. Economic data streams across the screen. When really they were just the control group in the experiment, the rats given the good cages to see how different environmental conditions produce different behaviors. The voice suddenly drops to a whisper. But here's the thing about rat utopia experiments, Sarah. They always end the same way. Images of urban decay, population decline, social breakdown. Behavioral sink, social collapse, the beautiful ones withdrawing from society. Sound familiar? Sarah Chen. Voice cracking, the declining birth rates in developed nations, the social isolation, the withdrawal from civic engagement, the rise in mental illness. Mysterious voice. Back to manic laughter. You're living in the final phase of Universe 25, Sarah. The rats have figured out they're in a cage, but they've forgotten how to be anything other than experimental subjects. The screen fills with surveillance footage from across the country, empty streets, closed businesses, people isolated in their homes. So here's our Halloween treat for you, America. Here's the trick that's been played on you for 3/4 of a century. You were never citizens. You were never free. You were never making choices. You were lab rats in the most sophisticated behavioral modification experiment in human history. Long pause, then the voice becomes almost gentle. And now that you know, what are you going to do about it? Sarah Chen. Sitting back down, suddenly looking exhausted. They're saying if we just keep going, keep working, keep consuming, keep playing our assigned roles in their experiment, nothing changes. Mysterious voice. Softly. The Ouroboros will eat itself, Sarah. The system will consume itself from within, but only if you stop feeding it. Don't show up. Don't pay. Don't work. Don't participate in your own behavioral modification. Just watch and wait. The studio lights begin to dim. Let the experimenters run their maze with no rats to run it. Static begins to fill the screen. We are law. Your voices become our ideologies. We are the million masks of God. And tonight we've shown you the cage. The voice fades to a whisper. Sweet dreams, lab rats. Screen goes black. After a long moment, text appears. The experiment is over. The subjects have left the building. Fade to the zero work symbol, pulsing like a heartbeat. Then silence.